Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurhani Shazwani binti Mokhtar. My matric number CE190207. I'm from Group 8, Section 5. Today, I would like to present Lab 3. From the question 1, from Lab 2, PCB layout, please attach your artwork for the purpose of PCB fabrication process from PDF file. So, this is our artwork. I will show you how to get the artwork. Okay, from the Proteus PCB layout, we just click output and then export graphic and then export Adobe PDF file. So, this will be appear. Export PDF, artwork, and then just unclick others layer that we didn't want. So, just click OK. And then our PCB layout change to the artwork PDF. So, this is our artwork. So, I will pass to our group members to proceed the question 2 and question 3. Thank you.
My name is Nur Afafhanani binti Zakaria and I will explain question number 2. So what is the UV exposure effect on the PCB substrate? So the UV exposure process is a process to transfer the artwork or the printed circuit in the film to the PCB board. Under the UV light exposure, a photoresist which applied on the board is exposed in areas, thus forming lines on it. The film and board line up and receive a blast of UV light. The light passes through the clear parts of the film, hardening the photoresist on the copper underneath. The black ink from the plotter prevents the light from reaching the areas not meant to harden, and they are slated for removal. The process took less than 10 seconds under the exposure of UV light. If the board is exposed to the UV light for too long, it will be overexposed, so the plastic of the film on the board will become hard. This will take more time to finish for the other processes. Therefore, the UV exposure process is to transfer or print the artwork to the PCB board by using the UV light. Next, I will explain question number 3. So, what is the developing process in this lab? The developing process in this lab is the process to peel off the photoresist on the PCB board. The solution of sodium carbonate will be sprayed on the surface of the board with the film. It will develop the track and cover the needed track with the photoresist. The photoresist film will react with the sodium carbonate solution and will remove all the film on the PCB board except the areas that were exposed to the UV. Sodium carbonate solution will only remove the film that were not exposed to the UV light. The areas where the photoresist was exposed to the UV light will be washed away in 1 to 2 minutes. If the board was left in the developer solution for too long, all the photoresist will come off. Lastly, place the PCB board in the water immediately to stop the reaction between the board and the solution. Therefore, after the developing process, the track was developed on the PCB board and all the unwanted copper areas were exposed.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Nurhani Shazwani binti Mokhtar. My matric number CE190207. I will present on question 4 and 5. So, let me proceed to the question 4. What are the procedures of etching process? Observe from the process what happened to the PCB after the process. Etching process when the etching machine to erode or dissolve unnecessary copper PCB layers through chemical process. It contains liquid ferric chloride acid. Firstly, on all the switches on the control panel. The machine speed is usually adjusted at the level of 1.3 ampere-min, depending on the level of pure concentration of ferric chloride liquid. Secondly, insert the PCB on the inside of the machine. Always make sure the movement of the PCB is smooth. Thirdly, wait until the PCB come out on the outside of the machine. Check the PCB. If there is still a layer of copper stain that are not needed, repeat step 1. My observation, the difference between before and after etching process is the grain boundaries and grain size of the specimen. Then, before this etching process, the grain boundaries and size of the grain is really hard to determine. After this etching process, the grain boundaries and size of the grain can be clearly seen. Furthermore, the boundary of the copper grains can corrode very quickly when the appropriate etchant is used, highlighting the edges of the grain and making it possible to determine their size and shape. If the specimen is kept too long in the chemical, the pit which is caused by the chemical attack tend to grow and obscure the main features to be observed. So, we can look at this photo. Before etching, this is a layer of resin, layer of copper, and layer of laminate. This is after etching. This is copper and the laminate is still same, just for the copper. So next I will proceed question 5. How exactly to do the stripping process in this lab? Observe from the process what happened to the PCB after the process. Stripping process, when a stripping machine is used to re-strip all the dry film and at the same time produce the desired PCB layout contain stripper liquid. Firstly, place the PCB on the PCB holder. Secondly, insert the PCB holder into the stripper fluid. Thirdly, install the lid of the stripper liquid container. Fourthly, press the mode button to start the stripping process. Usually, the time will be set to 2 minutes, depending on the pure concentration of the stripper liquid. Wait until the process stops when the buzzer sounds. Fifthly, remove the PCB holder and wash in the water container slot on the machine until clean. Check the PCB if there is still a layer of dry film. Repeat step 2. After cleaning, the PCB is immersed in plating process. Next, my observation is that before making stripping dry film is still on the PCB board. Then, after making the process stripping, dry film will disappear on the copper layer on the PCB board. So, we can look at the photo, etching and dry film stripping. So that's all from me. I will pass to my other group members. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Nur Aini Nadira binti Kamal Arifin and my metric number is CE190049. I will answer task 6 and 7 for this lab 3. So first, for task 6, it needed to discuss the importance of the need to be aware of safety signs when handling work like chemical. As we all know, this lab 3 PCB fabrication process need to work with chemicals in order to get the exact PCB board that we need. So first of all, we need to know the equipments or stuff that needed to use while handling with chemicals. First is rubber gloves, safety goggles, apron, plastic or glass containers for the etching bath, baking soda, secure screw, and good ventilation place. This is because when we're handling with chemicals, somehow the chemicals might be spilled anywhere. So you need to always be aware and take care of yourself when the PCB fabrication process being held. The last task is task 7, which we need to show the PCB fabrication process. We need to include the bottom view of the PCB that containing circuit track. So here is it. This is for the top view and this is for the bottom view. That's all from me. Thank you.
Lastly, for the conclusion. So in this experiment, we completed the task and learned the fabrication process of a single-sided PCB and predicted the expected output of the experiment. We learned the steps of the PCB fabrication process through the procedures in the lab sheet and the video of the processes that was given by the lecturer. From the lab sheet, we knew that we need the PCB layout design that were designed from lab 2 to do the fabrication process. We learn each step of the process through the videos to complete the PCB board. Each step in the process is important in order to produce the single-sided PCB. Therefore, we knew that the expected result from this PCB fabrication process experiment is the PCB board. And that's all from me. Thank you.